let's step into the series a little bit and give a little bit of the landscape. So this is a children's story. The protagonists are two brothers and their sister.
Yep.
The older brother, Janner, is a little bit nervous and constantly worrying about his place and what everyone needs to do. He feels a lot of responsibility for his younger brother. And you can feel him as kind of the older bearing sibling from the moment you first meet Janner.
Yep.
Then you have Tink, the younger brother,
Yep.
who is sort of reckless.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing that Tink won't explore. He runs off and leaves Janner in a couple very, very tense moments. And, you know, Tink is the one who's always touching things that shouldn't be touched and stumbling into places that shouldn't be stumbled into. And then their youngest sibling is the sister, Lily, who uses a crutch and is just absolutely a sweet dear heart who, for remarkable reasons, becomes the image of courage and heroism. So you have these three siblings, but she's kind of the least likely because of her physical disability. You're not expecting for her to be as wonderful as she in fact is.
Yep.
And then they're accompanied in their story by their mother, and by their ex-pirate grandfather.
Exactly.
Podo.
Yeah.
So those are the keys, and then around them are a number of other people, and they inhabit a land that is being oppressed by evil reptiles called fangs.
Exactly. The fangs of Dang.
The fangs of Dang, and they are super nasty. So that's the baseline. What then is their story? What do we need to know about who these characters actually are?
Yeah. Basically, like, as is often the case with, you know, Lewis and Tolkien and other Christian writers of what we would probably call fantasy, or fairy story, maybe I suppose would be the more proper genre according to Tolkien. You have some kind of far off past, and you have hints as to what happened there. But basically, the world was made good, and then some terrible evil was introduced, and then we're all kind of struggling with that at some level. So they're on this kind of continent of Scree, but it's clear they're not from there originally. They're from the Shining Isle of Aniera. And then far off across the sea is Dang, from whence come these fangs, who are the oppressors, the bad guys. So they're just trying to like make their way through, but it's clear that they're not free because their land is occupied, and they themselves are quasi-enslaved. And various things happen which make it necessary for them to confront this evil force, to flee from this evil force, and to begin formulating a plan whereby to defeat this evil force. And that's kind of how it evolves over the course of the 4 books. But you see kind of like greatness thrust upon them. It's not necessarily something for which they're looking, but it's present in them, and it needs to be teased out of them. And their experience is educative and ennobling as they do what lies within their power to love the people entrusted to their care and to defend the ideals that they harbor deep in their hearts. So
yeah, so let's jump in and unpack some of these themes, because it'll help us to know them a little bit better and maybe prevent us from revealing everything that could be revealed. You know,
I
these
think we've
books
been great so far.
These books are marvelous to read. Yeah. There are certainly going to be some spoilers coming because
nevertheless, I'm reading them for the second time
moments.
and still crying with every book. So yeah,
beautiful. You and Thomas Aquinas and Dominic and me when I make announcements at Godsplaining retreats.
There it is.
All tears all the time.
That's it, baby.
So I love this principle that there's a nostalgia for something greater, because the children feel that they have a longing for adventure. It's important that their grandfather is an ex-pirate because he tells them stories of seafaring. And they're looking for something more than their everyday existence. Again, they live in an occupied land. It's oppressed by the evil reptiles. Father Bonaventure, the lizards are the bad guys. They are not our friends. They're the bad guys. I just want that to be clear.
And the wolves.
Yeah, and the horny-toothed cows and the
exactly
the big cockroach thing. That's
horned hounds, toothy cows.
There we go.
Gargan rockroach. All
the
kinds
Gargan
of cool
rockroach.
He's got another book called Pembroke's Creaturepedia, which gives indication as to the various characteristics of these beasts.
Yeah. So they live in a universe where they're looking for something more, where they don't mind battling these evil monsters. The monsters are important signs of evil. This is very much a story about good versus evil, as every good fairy story is. But they want more than their everyday existence. And as you said, there's a kind of nascent heroism that gets drawn out of them. And what I think is so remarkable is that's what it means to be a good human. and a noble Christian is to long for that greatness with everything in your soul, and to pursue it wholeheartedly until you become most yourself. And that's what's astonishing. That's why it's important that these characters are children, because they discover their identity along the way, which is the point of a Christian journey, the point of our vocation here in life, to discover who it is that God has made us to be. So it's that movement of discovery that draws them out of the shallow and vapid and oppressed existence that they have in Scree into the kind of nobility of their land.
Father Bonaventure, what's your favorite version of the Bible?
Ooh, English Standard Version, Catholic Edition.
Okay, when was that published?
Sometime.
Okay, recently? Not too recently?
Yeah, some time ago.
Uh-huh, okay.
India uses it for the lectionary.
Okay, do any other countries use it?
Nope. Maybe? Oh, England is going to use it, I think.
Are they really?
Random news.
This is great.
I don't know.
So other things that you want to share with people?
They should subscribe to Godsplaining.
Yeah, they should.